in unfamiliar surroundings, a large stadium similar to the one they'll play in at Old Trafford.
Brett Hodgson with the restart then. Trapped by Ballard.
One. Move, Danny!
The Huddersfield Giants up well there to make the tackle. Ballard again. Jackson this time.
Move! Wait, go.
This is Lupton trying to spot a gap there, but Fatuira closes the door alongside Scott Moore there. Budworth.
4.
Well, there are several things that the Crusaders need to do better in the second half. One of them is run stronger with the ball. They need to break some more tackles and bounce through the other side. That's not going to help here. Turnover possession to start the second half now. And Sean Lunt will play the ball just 40 metres from the Crusader try line.
They really have had the field position in that first 40 minutes. And now Huddersfield looking ominous again in the shape of Jamal Lacey.
1, 2, move!
Tackles in the bank, 25 metres away from the line, but a fumble from Luke Robinson. Good position, and the knock-on comes from the scrum half, and a good opportunity for Huddersfield wasted there.
Classic example of you've got to catch the ball before you attempt to pass it. I was just about to make the point that everything Huddersfield has done has been quality. They've made 116 tackles and only missed 2. Where if you look at the Celtic side, they're just coming up to 100 and they've missed 10 tackles, and you can't hope to win a game whenever you're making an error 1 in 10 tackles.
Van Dijk finds Peter Lupton.
2.
Lunt who makes the tackle.
Ready out, Stephen.
Lupton missed last year's Millennium Magic, having not played in 2007 as Castleford were in National League 1.
Wait, go.
Budworth. It's a strong run forward again, and they are in the Huddersfield half of the field, but 4 tackles gone already.
Go.
This is Van Dijk, looks to offload, finds Budworth as well. This is Quinn now, Damien Quinn.
5. Move.
Gets Celtic Crusaders to that last tackle.
Go.
Budworth for Van Dijk.
Kick it clear.
Gets the kick away under pressure. It bounces, and that's going to be a 20-metre restart.
Great feature really from Huddersfield. The amount of pressure they put on Van Dijk whenever he's caught the ball, he's had no time at all to get the kick away. There's no need for Hodgson to catch the ball. It was simply over the dead ball line, pressure relieved, and they start to roll forward. The short inside pass for the fullback has been for several years a key play for the Crusaders, and one that you tried to see them get away on that last set of possession. Best prospects have been when they've kept the ball alive around the play the ball zone.
Breakaway for Celtic Crusaders, and Paul Ballard is quick. Paul Ballard leaving the chasers behind, and Paul Ballard scores the first try for Celtic Crusaders. Or does he? Ben Thaler is going to hand this on to the video referee Stuart Cummins. Well, they needed to score first in the second half, and Paul Ballard could have got a vital try for Celtic Crusaders.
Oh, what a breakaway effort. I think there's a knock-on here. Firstly, does it come off a Crusaders' hand? Is Delacourt in an offside position? I think yes. Now then, you see the arm come round, whether that's intentional or not. It then hits Mark Delacourt.
The second bit is probably
off James then.
The bit that they're going to penalise.
And then bounces into the arms of Paul Ballard. Now, if you say it's not intentional, it would have been an unintentional accidental offside.
I'm not too sure of the rule, but I don't think that's a knock-on. I don't think he looks to knock the ball out. It's just whether Delacourt is judged to be offside accidentally, or it's something you penalise. You're looking at me, Phil. I don't know.
I don't know here. None of us will argue with whatever decision they give, because there are about 3 different scenarios whether or not he intended it. You're asking the video referee to make a guess, really, aren't you? There's no fact.
There's no vital call, and it's denied by Ben Thaler, or by the video referee, I should say, Stuart Cummins, and so a lifeline for Celtic Crusaders.
Just for everybody at home though, Phil, if it's a scrum attack, does that mean he's judged it as a knock-on?
Well, I'm trying to work out which side's attack.
Accidental offside, then the verdict.
So it's a Huddersfield ball. So yeah, the guy that knocked the ball out, he's adjudged to have knocked it on. Now I'm just educating him.
Why are you going off? Heads in. Go.
This is Robinson. Now it's Sean Lunt.
One. Move.
Well, we see the scrum because it was accidental offside. It came off a Celtic Crusaders player onto Delacourt and then backwards. And now Huddersfield have the ball from the scrum and are swinging it around pretty well.
Brett Hodgson finds Lalacy, who does really well to cling onto the ball. Chance to go down to the touchline where Bill Arthur's joined by an interested spectator there, John Sharp.
Well, those boosts for you.
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
What do you make of this Huddersfield performance? They're doing a pretty efficient job, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they've played well all year, really. I think, you know, certainly today they're playing some quality attacking football against the Celtics team, but you know, struggling a little bit confidence-wise.
Well, yeah, I mean, that last episode really sums up their fortunes this season, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the key is for them that they keep working hard for one another and maintain that belief.
Now, what about your game coming up next? You're just here getting a sample of the atmosphere. What's the mood like in the Hull camp?
Oh, great feeling on the bus, and certainly getting off the bus and walking into the stadium. Just an edge about things, and certainly, you know, our fans have been very vociferous and very vocal on our way here, so we're really looking forward to it. Last time I were here, I came with Saints, and unfortunately we got beat by Wigan, so you know, it doesn't hold many fond memories for me.
What's the mood in the camp like? Because you got that win against Salford last week. Okay, it was a bit of a nail-biting affair in the end, but it was a win nevertheless, which maybe will have lifted spirits a bit.
Yeah, I think some players believe in performance. I think some players believe in 2 points, and for us, although we weren't a million miles away in some of the defeats, I think the 2 points will do the guys really good. And obviously, Castleford were one of the teams that beat us during that losing streak by a drop goal. So, you know, there's 1 or 2 scores to settle as well.
Looking forward to it, John. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Good set from Celtic Crusaders, and Huddersfield asked to move to bring the ball away from their own try line here.
But it ended again. The kick pressure on the Celtic side forced Budworth to jump out of dummy half. He wanted originally to pass the ball. He then put the kick in, and it went clearly and directly to the Huddersfield player. Now, Danny Kermond, has he lost possession? The referee says yes. Budworth worked hard in defence here. This is a knock-on, and the Crusaders will get the ball.
I'm not sure I agree with this one. I think Budworth has got hold of the ball here. We'll have another look at it. Just Budworth's right arm. I think he's certainly helped it on its way.
Great decision as far as Celtic Crusaders are concerned, though, and a chance for them to attack again in this second half, and they've had the better of things since the break, really, Celtic Crusaders. This is Blackwood.
Wait, lads. Go.
It's Budworth who waits and moves to this near side to find Mark Bryant.
Stand.
Do you know, people talk about the wrestle and the grapple in rugby league now. I think the main sort of bone of contention for me is what they do. Great offloads here from Celtic.
There's a great offload from Lupton for Budworth.
Okay.
And they're now being driven backwards.
And that's the point I was going to make. No longer is it to hold them on the ground, it's to get the head facing the opposite way. I'll point it out when it happens again.
They've given away a penalty here for interference, Huddersfield Giants, and so Celtic Crusaders have more chance to attack, and Ryan O'Hara charges in.
What?
Move, both feet. Go.
Budworth. Now it's Van Dijk. Further on, but they've lost it again. Alan James couldn't take that pass.
No advantage.
Unless it's a game of inches. The ball was a few inches behind where James needed it to be. And Kermond, who's been excellent in attack and defence, comes up with possession, gets his hands on it. The referee said it's a knock-on, so they'll take a scrum to restart.
Problem for Huddersfield.
Sean Lunt down at the moment, just having a little bit of treatment from the physiotherapist.
Were we going up or stopping on?
I think they're asking to make the change as well, so it looks...
Here we go.
But just further to Bill's interview with John Sharp, I think credit should be given to John Sharp for the work he's done with this Huddersfield team. Nathan Brown's been an outstanding coach so far for them, but he inherited a squad with very good discipline and a good defensive ethic. That was instilled into them by John Sharp.
And the one constant between both coaches is Paul Anderson. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
Well, they showed how good the defence was, Huddersfield Giants, when Celtic Crusaders had that purple patch in the first half, as Paul Jackson is adjudged to have knocked on there. There is Paul Anderson alongside Nathan Brown.
Paul, be quiet.
And they have proved that they are just as capable of keeping their own line intact as troubling the opposition line.
We're there, guys.
There we go, there's Big Paul. Spent all morning doing his hair and forgot to put it on.
Set it. Out!
This is Delacourt. And Delacourt is trapped down by Kermond.
Go.
Lincoln Withers. Now it's Alan James. Almost got away from Kermond there. Lincoln Withers. This is Mark Bryant now. Wrestled to the ground by 3 Huddersfield tacklers. Kermond and Mason moving away. Van Dijk for Lupton. He'd got the pass away there. Josh Hannay was on his shoulder. Blackwood, Van Dijk. Good kick in, but well read by Robinson. And here's the counter from Luke Robinson. He is quick, the former Wigan scrum half, and trapped by opposite number Jace Van Dijk. That was an important tackle.
Go.
David Hodgson. Now it's Keith Mason.
2. Move!
Want to try and push the pace here, Huddersfield Giants. Scott Moore. Michael Korkidas now over halfway. 3 tackles gone. Korkidas for Scott Moore. Working to find Danny Kermond, who's been impressive this afternoon for Huddersfield Giants.
Move! 4.
Aled James and Dally Court with the tackle.
See that short side on the right there. I think they're coming back to that again.
That's Scott Moore over the top for Kevin Brown, and Brown finds Luke Robinson. Going backwards though momentarily, Huddersfield. David Hodgson now.
5.
It was Lupton who got him round the legs. Van Dijk upstairs. Kevin Brown now. Difficult kick, and it's well taken.
Just look at the time though that Kevin Brown had to make that kick. Blackwood did well at the full back there, didn't he, with an army of 4 Huddersfield players charging at him. But the time that Brown had to put the kick in helped the accuracy of it. Now Huddersfield, look, almost 3 tackles gone now, still inside the 10.
4 tackles
Going
still inside the 10.
now.
Again, twisting that body and getting the head to face the try line.
Maybe they saw that shot of Paul Anderson, reminded about the defence there, Huddersfield Giants, because this is magnificent. 14 metres made by Celtic Crusaders. The kick hacked forward by Josh Hannay.
Not even got to the halfway line.
Hodgson's combined to bring the ball away for Huddersfield. This is David now. Aled James brings him to the ground. And when they go through the gears, Huddersfield, Celtic Crusaders find it difficult, and a penalty for interference.
Well, this is where Huddersfield just slow the kick down somewhat there. The hands on the ball. It means that it doesn't go quite as far, and again, Huddersfield now still in this half.
Huddersfield then with another chance to attack this Crusaders line. Stephen Wild. Just 15 metres away. 5 tackles remaining. Robinson for Keith Mason, spinning into the tackle of Ryan O'Hara. Mark Bryant in there as well. Jordan James is a 3rd man in there. Scott Moore. Now it's Korkidas.
Move, Peter!
Patient build-up from Huddersfield Giants. Scott Moore now. Robinson. Kevin Brown. Good tackle from Dally Court to bring him down and stop the offload. This is Scott Moore, though, dangerous. And now Brett Hodgson. And Brett Hodgson almost over. Brett Hodgson is over. It's going to be handed on to the video referee. But Brett Hodgson, when he got the first try of the first half, has he got the first 4 points of the second period?
Well, they're calling this the magic weekend. I thought this was almost a magic trick. I think he perhaps loses possession, whether he regathers it before grounding. He's lost the ball there. No, that's not a try in my opinion. It was amazing though. He had 4 defenders in front of him. How he magicked his way through them to get to this point in the field. Quite remarkable for the full-back, and a pity for him, having done the hard work, that he doesn't ground it correctly. Good effort. Is it Ballard who gets involved in the tackle to just dislodge it? There's enough to deny the Huddersfield fullback of another try.
It's great work from Paul Ballard.
And over 10 out. Okay, mate. No worries. Cheers.
You'd have to say he's one of those players like Robbie Burrows that punches well above his weight. He's like a will-o'-the-wisp out there, yet so durable, so tough.
Brett Hodgson denied a second try, and you've got to admire the contribution there of Paul Ballard. So the margin stays at 22 points.
If you had one criticism of Huddersfield, I got to choose my words carefully here, because I think they're playing okay. It's they're not being ruthless enough. They've had enough possession in good areas of the field, and they should have more than 22 points 12 minutes into the second half.
Well, they should move up to second, but improvements for Nathan Brown. This is Daly Court now. Tougher tests ahead, you feel, for Huddersfield Giants, and that's good defence there. Robinson gets the congratulations alongside Lawrence, and Brown is a happier man now.
There aren't many tougher tests than stopping Mark Delacourt at full speed, and Robinson and Lawrence do a remarkable job there. He's a giant of a man, but he doesn't panic. He's brave, he's strong and tough, and helped by Michael Lawrence to get him over the side and get the ball back.
No, silly, keep it going. No, silly.
Must be out to impress his wife and her friends here.
If it is his wife.
Out!
This is Lacey for Huddersfield.
Move!
Damien Quinn makes the tackle.
Go!
Now it's Lawrence.
They found a song for him now. We love you, Robinson, we do.
Go.
He may have many wives, Brian.
This is Keith Mason now.
3. Move! Ready, Peter. Well done.
Scott Moore.
4. Ryan, move!
It's Jordan James and Ryan O'Hara who make, Jason Chan who make the tackle, I beg your pardon. This is Robinson now, and Robinson spotted a gap. Robinson pulled down by Anthony Blackwood, I think.
Wait there.
Well, it looks like a very bad tackle. When he grabs the collar,
Right,
grabs him around the chin. Oh, it's a high tackle.
Right there.
A reaching tackle rather than a... I think what happens after to Robinson is a consequence of some speed, and
Korkidis is over. Korkidis from the first tackle after the penalty, and the try awarded to Michael Korkidis. The first try of the second half is a Huddersfield try. All came about from that high tackle, and Michael Korkidis with his first try of the season. The fan club are shouting now. It might not be Robinson, but Korkidis with the 4-pointer for the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, a route one approach. He's seen his teammates pass the ball from side to side to try and score, but be denied. And he's determined here now that he's going to get across the try line. You'd have to criticise the Celtic defenders here. If you're unable to stop a play like this, you've got real trouble. Black was penalised correctly by the official. The referee says it's a high tackle, and there's time for the Crusaders to regroup, but they've not got time to prevent Michael Korkidis from scoring. He's actually short, but the ball, I don't think, hit the ground initially. He's able then to stretch out and put it on the try line.
Michael Korkidis, Greek international, played against Malta in 2005, and Brett Hodgson, just one failure with the boot. That's another success. It's 4th, and so Huddersfield now lead by 28 points to 0. Controversial grounding, perhaps.
Well, I think it's quite clear that the ball from that angle doesn't hit the floor. You get to see it again here. No, the ball hasn't made contact with the floor, and he's entitled to do that. It's a one-on-one challenge.
you only have to get the ball on the line, not over the line. I think he does that successfully.
Now, there's points here for Huddersfield. There's a lot more points in this game for them. Are they going to be ruthless enough to go out and get them? I think that's the big question.
A few teams on 14 points, and very early to be talking about points difference, but it is an opportunity for Huddersfield to put a real marker down to the rest of the competition. And they're in possession now in the shape of Keith Mason.
That's what it does, Ben. It sends a signal. They come here today and beat Celtic by 40 points or 45 points or 44, 40, 50 points. That sends out a really strong signal to the rest of this competition.
And another impressive part to this would be the opposite end. If it ends at 28 points, to keep that 0 would be just as important as scoring some more.
Agreed.
Crusaders finds Fayumu. Faced by Van Dijk and Lincoln Withers in there as well.
Movement! Wait, lads.
Approaching the final quarter of this game as Sean Lunt finds
40.
Kevin Brown with the kick. Well, he was perhaps looking for a 40-20 there, but still Anthony Blackwood with work to do.
What about Stephen Wild's chase? That is amazing. Talked earlier about Earl Crabtree possibly making the England side for the mid-season test. Stephen Wild is sprinting down here. Look, he's past the 10-metre line. David Hodgson helps him. Look, 3 tackles now, 2 already gone here. This will be the 3rd. They're still almost on their own try line.
How many times have we seen that, Phil, where they haven't brought that 10-metre line? I know they just broke it then, but there's a couple of tackles already gone. Just outstanding defence.
Done 10.
This is Tangata Toa.
And once again making the head of an opponent face his own try line, buying about 2 or 3 seconds.
That was Withers. Now Lupton. Still got possession, manages to offload brilliantly to Van Dijk.
Tried to offload that, Ben. Let's play on.
That was Kevin Brown, though, for Huddersfield, and now David Hodgson.
Knocked out that way, scrum down there, boss.
No advantage, I think he's giving.
1-on-1. That way.
I think we can join Bill on the sideline.
Yeah,
Ben, I'm sitting not far away from what has to be one of the noisiest groups of supporters who are going to be in the stadium all weekend. There they are. That's in yellow is Luke Robinson's sister Simone, and just along to the end, right on the edge of your screen there, is fiancée Laura standing up, and the rest of them are what they call themselves the FAFs, the friends and family, and that's Luke Robinson's personal fan club, so they're here to make big noise for him.
Luke Robinson with his own set of wags then at the Murrayfield Stadium.
2.
Huddersfield hoping to give them more to shout about here.
Go.
Luke Robinson finds Sean Lunt. The ball comes free initially. Play on is the verdict, and Brett Hodgson does just that, and it's a great run from Stephen Wild. Good angle there that he took the pass on.
Wait here, wait. Go.
Fayumu. Look one way, coming back the other, and Finnegan trying to crash over there. There's 3 to stop him doing that. Sean Lunt goes himself, Sean Lunt, and just waltzes through. It's an easy second try for Sean Lunt, and in truth it's easy now for Huddersfield. They lead by 32 points to 0. Surely that will be 34 in a few moments when the kick goes over from Brett Hodgson, and surely now Huddersfield move into second with 2 points at Murrayfield.
Well, the Giants now started to pierce the Celtic defence in the middle. The last try was a straight effort. This one too follows a similar vein. Sean Lunt has been impressive this season and will, I think, continue to improve. Still only 23 years of age. He's had a good season so far and shows and goes. Simple, no markers there, no defence and no focus to prevent Sean Lunt from going over for another 4 points, which will inevitably turn to 6. And a real pity that Huddersfield weren't able to play at this level when they met Leeds just 2 weeks ago. It's a rebuilding stage now in the season. They had a period in which they went so well for several weeks, then they hit a lull, and this now is the start of the comeback.
5 tries for Sean Lunt now, the National League 2 young player in 2006, and Nathan Brown with a smile on his face, as well he might, as Brett Hodgson will extend the lead now, 34-0 in favour of the Huddersfield Giants. Well, they won 30 points to 10 at the Gal Farm against Celtic Crusaders on Good Friday. It's even better than that in Edinburgh. The sun really starting to shine now on Huddersfield Giants, who, as I say, move into that second place. And I think he's borrowed one of your shirts, Barry.
What about that shirt?
I'm not worried about this.
Worst I've ever seen.
That looks like 2 blokes I know.
Down, guys.
Looks like you in 5 years, Baz.
3.
Into the last quarter. Korkidas,
Shoulder.
one of the Huddersfield try scorers this afternoon.
Go.
I suppose the challenge for Huddersfield now is how many points they can put on the board in this final quarter, and that will surely be the message from Nathan Brown.
Well, great sides have an ability to up the tempo. We've seen St Helens and Leeds score back-to-back tries. When they have their opponents on the rack, they really make them pay for it here now. Have the Giants got that skill and ability? They're looking to speed things up here in this set.
The ball from Fayumu for Kevin Brown, and Fayumu goes again. Last one coming up for Huddersfield Giants though, and Robinson assesses the options. It's a crossfield kick, and Luke Dyer fields that for the Crusaders.
That's one.
Sean Lunt with the tackle.
Go.
The challenge, of course, for Celtic Crusaders will be simply to get over the line at this point. They've got a penalty, that will help them.
Well, getting out to their own half will be a start, wouldn't it? Such has been Huddersfield's effort here in the last 10 minutes. Mason trying to get up and put a quick tackle in, but he was offside. Is there energy left or creativity left amongst the Crusaders?
Well, Celtic Crusaders are troubled by injuries, still without Tony Duggan, of course. Matty Smith missed the last 5. Terry Martin and Steve Tyra, who's gone to Widnes on loan, yet to feature in Super League, so they are doing it tough. Jordan James, another former Widnesian, finds Van Dijk now. Good offload. Michael Lawrence misses the tackle. It's Jordan James. He has managed to get the ball away. And it's Chris Beasley who has the first try for Celtic Crusaders. Well, if that was the challenge, Celtic Crusaders come up with that answer. The Huddersfield line has been broken, and it's Chris Beasley with his first try of the season. It's probably too late for the Crusaders, but he will enjoy that moment. Chris Beasley, the former St Gaudens player. And as you see, the first try since May 2008 in that home defeat to Widnes.
Well, I think most of the neutrals in the ground have enjoyed that try. Look here, they've shown what they are do best. The ball back on the inside. For 2 or 3 years, it's been one of their best plays. They've managed to keep the ball alive, as they did at times in the first half. James right through one tackle, Jordan James that is, and offloads then to Chris Beasley. The long pass to Jason Van Dijk, and as he turns the ball back inside, we start to see maybe just 1 or 2 holes in Huddersfield's defence that weren't there prior to the last quarter. And it's a good ability to keep the ball alive and get over to give them something, a reward, I think, for their efforts at the very least.
And Damien Quinn, successful with the boot. It's his 4th goal of the season. And Chris Beasley, with his first try of the season, gets Celtic Crusaders on the board. Featured in 8 of 11 for the Crusaders this year, and only missed 2 in 2008.
Just about holding the 10 minutes. 3 seconds. Keep.
And Brett Hodgson now in the unfamiliar position of restarting after a Celtic Crusaders try. This is David Tangata Toa, faced by Simon Finnegan.
Move! Wait! Go!
It's Withers, and now Luke Dyer.
2. Move!
That was Stephen Wild with the tackle. Withers again, this time for Van Dijk, and Josh Hannay trying to go through a gap. It's a good tackle from Kevin Brown. Jace Van Dijk, the Crusaders buoyed by that try. Jordan James now, almost to halfway. And a penalty for Celtic Crusaders.
Stephen Wild says he had hold of me, his arm around my neck. Possibly right too in that on that replay.
I think he had hold of Jordan James's neck as well, to be fair, Phil.
Come on! Start the discipline out!
Jordan James earned his side the penalty and give him some field position. What can they do? Can they get 2 tries?
I will, mate. Come on, get
one after another.
One. Move!
Well, back-to-back touchdowns is the ideal scenario for John Dixon here. Jason Chan moves forward. They've got tackles in the bank, only 25 metres away. Van Dijk finds Damien Quinn. Short pass for David Tangata Toa.
3. Move, man!
Robinson in with the tackle.
Wait.
Alongside Fayumu. Lincoln Withers.
4. Move!
4 tackles gone for Celtic as Jason Chan plays the ball. Dalcourt touches it onto Anthony Blackwood. Bounces.
5. Move!
And it's Damien Quinn who picks it up, but that's the last tackle, and so it will be the handover.
Drop that. In the process of
knock-on
standing
impact.
up. In the process of standing up.
Hey,
Quinn just loses control of that.
Right, you can't then grab hold of the non-player.
It's difficult to know what to take out of this game. After two heavy defeats in the previous weeks, this game has come at the right time for Huddersfield. Let's face it, they're playing the bottom side and they were expected to win and win easily. Now, scoring 34 points in the Super League is a good achievement. Against the bottom club, it becomes less impressive. It's hard to judge how much of an improvement Huddersfield have made from the last 2 weeks when they were beaten heavily.
Well, their biggest Super League win this season came against Harlequins, and that was 46 points to 6 back in round 6. So still some work to do to get up to that. This is David Hodgson, though, and no better person to make the break, and he's given it to Brett Hodgson. And Hodgson, who started it all off, almost there. Almost there. It's a good tackle from Luke Dyer, but how long can Celtic Crusaders hold out? It's Mason. And now Fayumu trying to weave his way through. Fatuira now. 8 metres away. Huddersfield Giants. Kevin Brown for Luke Robinson. Short pass, flat pass for Simon Finnegan. And Finnegan muscles his way over. Simon Finnegan too strong from too near to the try line. And Simon Finnegan with a Huddersfield try after Celtic Crusaders had threatened. It's his 4th try of the season, and normal service resumes in this match for Huddersfield Giants. Simon Finnegan, a couple of tries, the win over Catalan in the first Super League round, and now a try in the latest round of fixtures in Edinburgh.
And you could trace it back, and I'm sure he will, and be grateful to the run by David Hodgson. Quickly out of action half-back, picks the ball up with one hand and releases his teammate Brett Hodgson. Dyer's amazing effort to get back, prevent the try on that play. It was momentary relief here because Huddersfield showed by shifting the ball wide and running into spaces, they could get across and score yet again. Good quick passing there, in front of the man, good catching of the ball, and then Finnegan hits the hole incredibly well and just about has enough to get across and score.
He was a winner on Scottish soil in Glasgow with Ireland 4 years ago, Simon Finnegan. 2 losses in Millennium Magic at Cardiff, as Hodgson just slots over another 2 points. And so Huddersfield Giants now lead by 40 points to 6.
We were talking about in the first half about how Huddersfield were gradually squeezing the life. Maybe we should replace the word life with energy. You see a totally deflated Celtic Crusaders, unable to get back, unable to make that tackle that they're in the process of doing, and it's just a difficult day. Lots of fans are enjoying it.
Ask those Leeds fans to give us a wave, because they can hear the commentary, or they can choose to hear the referees' mic as well in a innovative new feature at Murrayfield this year. 10 minutes gone, or 10 minutes to go I should say, and Keith Mason finds Kevin Brown. This is Mason now spinning into the tackle of Withers. Robinson over the top. It's a good kick. And Damien Quinn will be asked to bring this ball away from his own line.
Look at that kick.
Good
Chase.
Huddersfield chase as well.
That's outstanding work, and they're not just a team that wants to score tries. Look at the work and effort they put in this part of the pitch.
Dalicourt now for Celtic Crusaders. Damien Quinn put down by Crabtree, and Sean Lunt in there as well. Dalicourt once more. Now it's Lupton. Good offload. Finds Mark Bryant eventually.
You know, when you've lost your shape a little bit when Mark Bryant's playing on the left wing field, but they've kept it alive and they've kept going forward.
And Jason Chan swats a couple aside as he makes progress forward. Budworth. Van Dijk. This is Tangata Toa now. Fayumu effects the tackle there. It's last one for Celtic Crusaders, and so Van Dijk puts the kick in, and it's a good kick as well. And Brett Hodgson tried to feel that, but it was an offside decision. It was Kevin Brown.
Well, amazingly, we're in the last 10 minutes. It's perhaps one of the best and most threatening kicks that the Celtic side have made this afternoon. It's not a long one, which won into a no-man's land, but it challenges Brett Hodgson to come forward for a difficult bouncing ball. He can't control it, and the Celtic side get the ball back. It's a pity, really, it's 70 minutes too late.
Well done, Brett.
Brown deliberately catching that ball, and so offside. This is Jace Van Dijk and David Tangata-Toa now looking for the offload. Crabtree knew that was coming. Tackle comes in from David Fayumu. Mark Bryant, Peter Lupton, now Mark Daly-Court, and Anthony Blackwood swats off one, and Anthony Blackwood will get another try for Celtic Crusaders. Well, we talked about Huddersfield putting their foot on the accelerator, but Celtic Crusaders have scored 2 impressive tries of their own. And that latest effort will be more success for John Dixon and Anthony Blackwood with his 3rd Super League try of the season.
Well, back in probably his more familiar and favoured position on that left wing. Anthony Blackwood is a big, strong, powerful player, and given the time and space there that he has, he will finish tries. They've kept the ball alive from the tap penalty, a couple of forwards passing it wide, and then a quick receive and go, really. Anthony Blackwood takes the ball and gives it, Delaporte takes and gives so quickly that it releases a winger, and that's what wingers want, time and space to show what they can do. Pushes away at Lawrence, comes a bit closer to the goals.
Anthony Blackwood made his Wales debut against Scotland at the Brewery Field. Already a try at Huddersfield on Good Friday, and at Warrington in round 7 as well, as Damien Quinn aims to slot this ball between the posts. He's just failed there. It was a good attempt, but Celtic Crusaders scored that 2nd try, as I say, and they still trail by 40 points to 10.
We expect our wingers, once they're out in the open on that flank, to score the tries, but Blackwood catches it, tucks it under his right wing, has to swap it to hand off with his right hand, and shows a lot of skill. He still had a bit to do when he scored that try.
So Celtic Crusaders have possession again, and was trapped first of all. This is Mark Bryant now, Ryan O'Hara, I beg your pardon. And Blackwood now.
2. Move! Wait, go.
Budworth, good ball. Mark Daly-Court is away. Daly-Court sprinting clear, and it's a good tackle coming in from Brett Hodgson, the fullback, who'd read the move well. Lawrence in there as well. Budworth. Now it's Lupton. Damien Quinn. Van Dijk, loose pass. Taken forward still by Alan James, though, and he's managed to release the pass. Jason Chan. The ball comes free from his grasp, and it's Sean Lunt who's first to react for Huddersfield Giants. But it's 1-on-1, and so Celtic Crusaders have possession from this scrum.
And the Crusaders have several players who are good at getting their hand free in the tackle and keeping the ball alive. I guess when they do start to click and improve as a side, that will be an area where teams are really challenged to control the offload and control that middle third of the field.
They've got some good movement in the ball, but only for very, very small phases of the game, and that's been the story of their Super League so far. They'll be better for this season in Super League, no doubt about that. They need to hold on to this squad.
Great ball from Peter Lupton, finds Anthony Blackwood. Is it 2 in a couple of minutes? It's a great tackle from Brett Hodgson. This is Neil Budworth, and Budworth trying to... Well, he got the pass away. So close, Celtic Crusaders. It was Chris Beasley who almost got over there. Jason Chan now. Celtic Crusaders finishing the stronger here. Now it's Tangata-Toa. And Damien Quinn brought down by Brett Hodgson. Last one though, Budworth turns it back for Tangata-Toa, and David Tangata-Toa pokes an arm out, plugs the ball down, and they have their 3rd try. David Tangata with his 2nd in 2 matches. Well, the one he scored last week was an absolute rampaging effort from 50 metres. This one was just from all of about 2 yards. But David Tangata-Toa with his 2nd try in 2 matches, and Celtic Crusaders finishing this match impressively.
Well, I think it was Winston Churchill who said never give in. You couldn't accuse the Crusaders of doing that here today. The last 10 minutes has perhaps been their best in this match. They've shown good adventure and they've made some ground down both sides of the field. And then Tanga Tatoa does remarkably well here. A tiring Huddersfield defence is turned back inside, pushes through Lunt and scores it, gets the right arm free. We've talked about some of the forwards having an ability to control the ball, reaches out and scores a good try. One which makes their journey back to South Wales a little more enjoyable.
I guess now they're looking towards next week. I guess they want to finish this game on a high. I don't think Nathan Brown's going to be very pleased with Huddersfield leaking maybe 16 sloppy points, maybe you could call it.
Could be even more damage now as Damien Quinn lines this kick up. 2 more points against the Huddersfield score sheet, and so Celtic now 16 points against them, 40 points to 16 the score. Castleford fans enjoying this.
This is my point earlier. What do you read into this Huddersfield performance? In patches they've looked outstanding, but how much better are they than the last 2 weeks when they got heavily beaten? You'd say better, all right, but they're playing the bottom side in Super League.
Well, they won 7 of the first 9, and then those 2 defeats, heavy defeats as well, so it's been a good season for Huddersfield Giants. A good result today, but tempered with those defensive frailties, as you said. This is Anthony Blackwood.
Wait! Scott, come on! Okay.
Budworth. And now Luke Dyer.
Stand! Go.
This is Tangata Toa. 2 big men collide there with Crabtree as well.
Wait! Go!
Budworth. And Lupton. Almost wrestled to the ground by Scott Moore. Referee shouts held now. And Budworth finds Van Dijk. This is Jason Chan.
Movement! Wait!
Last one.
Well done.
Coming up for Celtic Crusaders, and Van Dijk under pressure gets the kick away. It's found touch over on that far side, and another good set for the Crusaders.
What looks like a serious injury here for Kevin Brown. The Huddersfield teammates were quick to get to him to help whatever they possibly could. He's attempted to make the tackle on Jason Chan. Maybe he's got his head in the wrong place. Steps off that right foot, pushes him. Now then, not sure at what point, but there seemed to be an awkward twist. Is it around the head? Oh, it's the left hand of Paul Fatawira. So often the case in rugby league, your own teammates injure you worse than the opponents. Watch him come in here now. The left arm elbow of Watawira catches Kevin Brown on the jaw.
My God, that's quite good.
See it here very clearly. Bang. Closes the eyes. Goes to sleep.
Such an important player for Huddersfield Giants. A lot of experience. Over 150 club career appearances.
I think we'll get quite a long and substantial break here in play, unless or no. Luckily and happily, Kevin Brown seems to be okay, and he's back up on his feet.
Not sure whether he knows he's in Edinburgh or where he is here, Kevin Brown, but the good news he is on his feet, as you see. Applause all around this stadium. And Kevin Brown helped off the field.
If Huddersfield are to get to the playoffs and possibly even go to the grand final, he'll be important to them. Some of his long kicks early in the match were of the highest quality. Each year he does get better in this competition. Can he continue to improve under Nathan Brown and in a confident and winning Huddersfield side? We'll see in the second half of the season, all being well.
Kevin Brown, well, the referee just having a chat to the Huddersfield players as Kevin Brown helped from the field.
Here we go.
And now we can restart play.
Okay.
It's a good ball to find Scott Moore, but then Celtic Crusaders get the possession back, and maybe that injury just disrupted concentration on both sides there. Beasley for Bryant now, and Bryant spinning. He's tried to offload as well. He's knocked on in the process, and so Huddersfield will have a scrum.
I think Huddersfield's problem perhaps was the fact that they knew they'd won the game, didn't they? When it went to 28 points to 0, you can only win a game, and you can't be at your best always. They've done what they came to Scotland to do. They've beaten the Crusaders. They picked up the 2 competition points. Probably from that point on, they have got a little bit of loose. Even that last scrum play was an example of that.
Great ball to find Michael Lawrence.
Move, Peter!
Is there one last Huddersfield try to crown this victory for the Giants? Earl Crabtree.
2. Move!
Sean Lund. Just over 20 seconds left now. Luke Robinson. And Scott Moore taken down by Jace Van Dijk.
Wait, lads, wait. Go.
David Fayumu. Luke Robinson. Now Paul Fatuera.
4. Move!
Tane who affects the tackle there. And Wild will just dab the ball into touch. Mission accomplished for Huddersfield. After 2 heavy losses, they've emerged victorious by a comprehensive margin in Edinburgh. It's a great win for Nathan Brown after those 2 losses. They moved up to 2nd in the Super League table. We don't know for how long yet. 3 more games to come. But it's an important victory for Huddersfield. If maybe the performance wasn't quite to the levels that Nathan Brown would have demanded, but they are in 2nd place, Phil. How do you think Nathan Brown will respond to that?
Well, he'll hope it's the start of a winning sequence. They want to put 4, 5, 6 more wins together. That's the way you have to knock on and start to build some momentum and confidence now. There was massive improvements in the defence, particularly in the first half, and they did control and dominate the Crusaders for most of the match. Admittedly, the final quarter, maybe the concentration wasn't as good as he will demand if they are to win and if they are to get to the grand final.
It's a second win for Huddersfield Giants over Celtic Crusaders this season, and Bill is now downstairs with the man of the match, Danny Kermond.
Danny, first try of the season in what was a pretty comfortable victory, and okay, maybe that's Celtic flurry of tries at the end maybe took shine off it, but pretty satisfying nevertheless.
Yeah, I mean, what important that we got a performance today. The last couple of weeks we've been a bit off the standards that we've set earlier in the season, and it's just good to get 2 points today. So
form had dropped off, hadn't it, in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we've not really done ourselves justice over the last couple of weeks against Leeds and Warrington. We set a standard at the start of the season, and last 2 performances just haven't been up to that, but today we've got back in running a little bit more, so hopefully build on that next week and week after.
Do you think it was, you know, you had that big game against Leeds where you didn't maybe live up to expectations, and that maybe took some of the wind out of your sails?
Yeah, I mean, we just weren't really at the races against Leeds. I think we had a big Easter period, as everybody did, and I mean, you can't really look for excuses. We just didn't play up to the standard, so
this was a bit more like it.
Yeah, a little bit. We're a bit patchy in attack at times, and obviously we're not too happy about them tries that have gone in the second half, but we're happy with 2 points, and it's a bit better than last week, obviously. So.
Dan, you get the man of the match, you get the champagne, you also get £100 to give to a charity of your choice. I think you've got something specific in mind.
Yeah, I'd just like to give it to El Boreros for the army. My brother has just been serving in Iraq, and I'd like to say hello to him and all his mates who've just gone back to Paderborn in Germany.
Well done today.
Thanks a lot, sir.
And let's bring in probably the best supported player at Murrayfield today, Luke Robinson. Could you hear the faffs, your sister and the rest of them up there?
So could the rest of the boys and the coaching staff, and I've had a little bit of stick about it over the weekend, so yeah, it's obviously a great weekend for the fans and they enjoy themselves, so as long as they're enjoying themselves.
Does Simone give you good support?
Yeah, they do. My girlfriend does as well. But
it's Laura, isn't it?
Yeah, and everywhere they go they make a bit of a name for themselves because they're loud and they've normally got a pint in their hand, but
or a pint.
Yeah,
or both.
Oh yeah, or both. But the lads have been giving me a bit of stick, but it's been great for them. You know, the sun's been out, and I think it's great for the players as well as the fans to come up here and, you know, play this great stadium.
Now, what about this performance? Would those late Celtic tries maybe take a bit of the shine off it?
I don't think there's much shine on it, to be honest. Anyway, even if they hadn't scored, I don't think we've set ourselves pretty high standards this year. and the coach wants us to fulfil them every week, and today we let ourselves down in areas, and ball control's been a bit of a sore point over the last few weeks, and it's something we need to fix up if we want to push this year.
You've come out with a thumping win and you feel you've let yourselves down?
Yeah, you know, it's the standards that Brownie sets for us. You know, he does set the bar pretty high, but we think we can achieve them high standards, but at the moment we're letting ourselves down in little areas, but like you say, 2 points at the end of the day, a win's a win, so
thanks, Luke.
We're pretty happy. Cheers.
Well, let's bring in the Crusaders coach, John Dixon. And John, you can't fault the side for plugging away and getting the reward at the end there.
Well, we did try really hard, there's no doubt about that, and we actually got some small returns at the end, but that game was well decided early, you know. Huddersfield were very, very good first half, and we had a little glimpse in the second half that showed we can play a bit of footy, and that's something we've got to build on.
Is it a credit to the side's character that they can, despite the fact that, again, still searching for the first points, they're willing to give it all for 80 minutes?
Well, again, that's one of the characteristics of the team that's been on display all year. And the other characteristic on display is we can play some footy, but it was just too little and too late today.
What is the main thing that needs remedying for you then?
Well, again, it's just that little adjustment, you know. Each team we play brings different challenges to us, and I thought the line speed of Huddersfield today was one of the really crucial things. We struggled to get out of our round end against a side that was in our faces all day, and I suppose it's just us adjusting that sort of situation. You know, it's an up in tempo in all aspects, and I thought Huddersfield defensively then were very, very good. Even, you know, us attacking their line, they didn't show us much until late in that game. So you know, there's a raft of things that we've still got to improve on.
But the second half, where I think it was 18-16, in fact, that ultimately just in the second half you've narrowed it to that point. I mean, you must be able to take something positive from that.
Oh yeah, no, we take positives from the fact that we're here competing for 80 minutes. Now we take a positive that the Crusaders are in Super League, that we're at Murrayfield in this tremendous occasion. So there's a stack of good things happening, Bill. It's just for this footy team, it's just taking a little bit longer than we'd all hoped.
Thanks, John.
Good on you, Bill. Thank you.
And I think Nathan Brown is able to join us. No, he's moved on. And so we'll hand back to the studio and to Eddie, and hope to catch up with Nathan Brown shortly.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks very much. John Dixon trying to keep a brave face. He should do, because they finished quite strongly, but they started very poorly. As you see, it was 22-0 at half-time. But they coped much better in the second half. Well, Huddersfield